Hey there, guys. This is Flamzeron, aka YouTube's Tasuke. As you've probably figured out by now, if you follow me on Twitch, or if I've mentioned it in any other video, I'm pretty sure that I have. Or if you've listened to my podcast, you will know that I actually have a PS4 now. That's an actual thing. You guys knew that, right? I've got a PS4. But anyway, I felt that my first little video on any PS4 game besides Warframe back then, because that's technically on PC as well, although I have it on PS4, but at any rate, the game I got with my PS4 was a game called Samurai Warriors 4, and I wanted to get on the PS4 because it came with the Legend of the Sanada OVA on Blu-ray, which is of course now on Crunchyroll, so thanks, but I figured I should give some thoughts on it. I'm kind of playing it sort of off and on. For me, since it was like my first game there, it was mainly just to kind of give me a reason to play the PS4. And back then, I probably would have had even less to say on it, maybe. But since I have a Bloodborne and Final Fantasy Type 0 HD, I feel like I can kind of have a little bit more fun with Samurai Warriors 4. So this is more of a this is more of a my thoughts, not necessarily a review like I did with other stuff. And I feel like with Dynasty Warriors, since the content is mostly the same, I can more or less kind of review or go over the entire game without being a full review. And I'm not really trying to make it a full review anyway. But like I said, the version I played is on the PS4, and one of the things two things I noticed immediately was, one, the graphics difference. They look a lot better. To me, they almost kind of look like, I explained it this way on the podcast as well. They looked like pre-rendered CGI cutscenes that haven't been rendered yet. Like they're still like the Power Director or whatever. Like to me, they look that much of a higher quality. Like they looked like they hadn't been rendered yet. Basically, they looked higher quality, and they looked really nice. And so it was more pleasing to look at, and also the detail was a lot nicer. Another thing I also noticed was the frame rate was a lot better. I'm pretty sure the PS4 is 60 frames per second. I'm not sure. I've heard some people say that it's not, but it definitely felt a lot smoother and quicker than certainly Samurai Warriors 3, even though that was on the Wii. But basically, it did feel a lot better to play, even more so than like Warriors Orochi 3 or Dynasty Warriors 7, 8, or any of the Empires. So it was still pretty fun to play, even though it's more based on the Samurai Warriors section of the battle system. I'm not going to say version because, I mean, they're both basically the same game. They're just a little different. And the character designs are nice as well, speaking of characters and whatnot. I will note ahead of time that the voices are in Japanese only, which I guess makes sense from a standpoint of historical value and whatnot, because this is like Sengoku period Japan, so like it's not that weird that it is in Japanese. Plus, with the PS4, I've noticed that games that would normally be digital only, like on the PS3, Samurai Warriors 4 was Samurai Warriors 4 was on the was digital only, is what I'm trying to say. Come on, Ryan, get together. But yeah, Samurai Warriors 4 was digital only on the PS3, and I think also the Vita, but on PS4 it was a physical copy. And I feel like I kind of wanted to get on PS4 for the sake of it being on PS4 as well, because I feel like Dynasty Warriors / Samurai Warriors, the Warrior series, it kind of lends itself pretty well for being like a launch title for many things. Like for the Vita, I had Dynasty Warriors Next as my first one, and then for 3DS it was Samurai Warriors Chronicles. And for the Wii U, spoiler alert, I have a Wii U, it would have been Warriors Orochi 3 Hyper, but now I have no reason to have that. But and at any rate, yeah, that's the main reason why I got it. And of course, like I said in the review of the OVA, it was also in Japanese with subtitles. So, it's in Japanese. Like, I feel like a lot of these Warriors games are going to be in Japanese a lot too. I find that very few of them are in English actually. It'll be interesting if Funimation does anything with the anime and like give the series a new English cast. But gameplay is like what you would expect from Samurai Warriors. I find it a little bit more fun to play than previous Samurai Warriors games because I feel like Samurai Warriors has always been a little more slow paced in comparison to Dynasty Warriors. Especially with Dynasty Warriors kind of picking up speed a little bit, and with Samurai Warriors kind of taking a while to hit the next generation. Like, it started off on the Wii, which, you know, was closer to PS2 than it was PS3, and when it finally came out on PS3, it felt more next generation. At the time, at least, we never got it, but, you know, they brought it over on PlayStation 4 for Samurai Warriors 4. Plus, why would you not get it on PS4? I mean, Samurai Warriors 4 on PlayStation 4? Come on. But, at any rate, there is a little bit of difference with the gameplay. It's a little more... They give you a little bit more combos, kind of like in how in Dynasty Warriors 8 you have a few more combos you can do, and the Muso attacks are actually kind of different. It seems like the sort of like flashy, sort of camera angle-y attacks that you could sometimes do in Samurai Warriors 3 as well as Warriors Orochi 3 are done a little bit quicker, though they all kind of seem to be the same. You know, they don't really... I don't know, they just don't really seem to stand out to me. As far as I can tell, maybe I'm not doing them right. I suspect that I might not be doing it right. But for the strong attack, instead of a strong... It is a strong attack, but it's a dash attack, which I actually kind of like because it makes it easier to, like, go through enemies. And so far, I found all the characters pretty fun to play as. In the story mode, instead of individual characters, they do it by, like, the specific army, like, you know, the Oda army, or the Sanada army, for example, or the Takeda army, or the Tokugawa army, or the Toyotomi army. And I imagine that would branch off from Hideyoshi up to Mitsunari Ishida and all that kind of stuff. And you unlock characters through playing as them in the different modes, but you can also unlock them, I think, through the Samurai Chronicle mode, which you get to make your own character. And so this kind of is carrying over a character creation mode from Samurai Warriors 3. They let you make your own character. It's a lot better in this game than it is in Samurai Warriors 3, especially since this game came out after Samurai Warriors 3 Empires, which we also never got. But so it's a lot better. It's not perfect. I will note that you will definitely see this game does have more red hair. Like, it's light red hair, but if you've seen my videos, or I don't think I did any videos on Dynasty Warriors 7 Empires, and if I did, then, well, basically, if you've played them, then you know that the red hair is more like purple hair. Whereas in this game, it's fucking red hair. My guy even looks kind of cool, too, and I like that, you know, they have, like, more original styles, and I feel like the Empires games are trying to do that more with, like, the giving Sun Quan the Flame Blade and just having the regular sword just be, like, a sword you can use. But, you know, that's a different story, I suppose. I'll be getting to Dynasty Warriors 8 as soon as I finish it for myself. But the customs, I chose just the regular katana because they only give you, like, the katana, the long sword, the weapon you can use from Samurai Warriors Chronicles, and then the double swords, which you also use from Chronicles, and then also the spear, and then the Naginata. And I like that they include the longsword and the twin swords, and even your general character, their starting off character design, like when you start making your character, the preset that they gave you is like the preset from Chronicles, which I think is actually kind of cool, because, you know, if you just kind of want to roleplay as that character and start over, that's actually kind of cool, I think. I never played Samurai Warriors Chronicles 2 or 3, so I don't know how far they went. I do know that in 2 they introduced a new character, which we have. He also happens to be voiced by Hisui from Tales of Hearts, so that's kind of cool. But he kind of no, he doesn't look like, but he's one of the few characters who actually fights without a katana. He uses like a rapier kind of thing. My favorite is still Muneshige Tachibana, though as of this recording, I haven't unlocked him yet. I have the story where you can unlock him, but I haven't unlocked him yet. But, yeah, I like other characters like, Yukimura Sanada, who I will likely start off playing as, and my guy's pretty cool, and Nobunaga Oda. And Mitsuhide I found to be pretty fun. Speaking of characters and your custom characters, though, one thing I don't like about this game is that in order to unlock the different styles for your custom character, you have to become like a big friend. Like you have to like get your relationship with that character to like the highest level. And that can be a bit of a pain because you might not always have that character on your team. Like you kind of have to go find them, and then you have to do like all these little events and talk to them. And it's just a bit of a pain, honestly. It really is just a little bit of a pain, in my opinion. But I mean, I guess it's okay. Some of them come from like, some of these have like really gay moments. Like there's this one where like people think that Ranmaru Mori is a girl, and you come and you try to defend him, and then you get a cut on your fingers. Like, oh, I'm sorry, and then you're all like, you have a choice of either saying, oh, it's okay, or a little spit will make it feel better. I'm just like, what the fuck? Because of course, knowing him, he'll be like, what? Okay, and he'll just spit on your finger. And then there's one where Yukimura is sleeping, and my guy was all like, you caress his face gently probably to wake him up. I don't know, I guess. I feel like this game is a little more homoerotic than it probably should be. I know in the anime they introduce Hideyoshi's son, Hideyori, I believe, and he called Yukimura handsome. So he definitely might have played for the other team. But at any rate, another thing, this game introduces the character Nobuyuki, Yukimura's brother. I don't know if I'd consider him the Lu Bu of this. I don't know if this game really has a Lu Bu character besides maybe I keep thinking Tadakatsu Honda, but I don't know if that really fits necessarily. I know he and Yukimura eventually, apparently fought during the summer siege of Osaka. And I don't know if... I think Zhao Yun and Lu Bu fought each other at one point, but that's a different subject. It's I'd say overall, I know I'm kind of jumping around a little bit because I have so much to say. But, the music's also present. The general customization, to go back to the, to that, it's actually pretty okay. Like, the reason why I say it's okay is because it doesn't have as much as, say, an Empires game, which makes sense. So I feel like Samurai Warriors is trying to kind of blend the regular Dynasty Wars with the Empires game. And because, the Chronicles mode, you're kind of trying to make a name for yourself, and you're, like, going from, like, region to region and place, like, fighting people and doing stuff. And that can make the game seem longer, and I think you can play online with people in this mode, too. And it's really kind of fun, and a nice way to sort of, like, have a little more role-playing in the game. But I feel like a lot of times I almost kind of wish I could just play that and not play the regular mode. I'm only really playing it just so I can unlock the other characters. But, it's okay. As far as changes to the story that I've noticed, the only thing that really I noticed, like, at first is obviously some stuff being expanded because of the new characters like Nobuyuki and whatnot, as well as some stuff it seemed like being condensed. Like the Takeda stuff seemed to be really condensed, but then Nobunaga's story was just like super long. And of course it ends with the whole Honoji incident business. And it kind of ends with like Nobunaga walking into the flames, and Mitsuhide is like, "No, Nobunaga." But that's really all I noticed. I'm not too familiar with the samurai history, the Sengoku period. I'm not even really familiar with Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Like I kind of get a little. I know a little bit more, but the little character moments where characters are talking to each other, they're kind of silly. Like there's one where like Toshie Maeda, he was exiled and everyone was like, please unexile him, and KG's like, please unexile him. Then Nobunaga's like, okay. He's just like, okay, I'll free you. And it's funny because apparently I did some research. Apparently Nobunaga was seen as a ruthless leader, but in like all these different stories, he's portrayed as being actually kind of kind and very understanding. And I find that to be really funny. Like, is that sort of like I wonder if this is sort of like a comment on like scholars who, I don't know, just like, I'm confused because like he's being portrayed as a ruthless. He's said to have been a ruthless ruler, yet in these stories, like in Samurai Warriors and friggin', the only thing I've seen him being ruthless and evil is fucking Onimusha and Sengoku Basara. But both of those are fiction. They're not. They're more like historical fiction rather than just history. Though I guess Samurai Warriors they take a fair amount of liberties too. But that's mainly that's all I can think of to say. Really, I'm enjoying the game and I want to keep playing it. And it served as some fun stuff, something fun to play on my PS4 while I waited for Bloodborne and whatnot, which I'll eventually do a video and maybe a stream of. But I really enjoyed I'm really enjoying this game, and I want to try and get more of the characters and whatnot. And I'm glad I finally get to do some PS4 footage. I hope to do more, and of course they don't have the HDCP, so I can just plug an HDMI, and there you go. Of course, you have to disable it, which is one problem. Oh, one more thing. When you stream it using the PS4 streaming thing, my friend Lady Sheena, who also streams a lot, she and I tested this kind of thing, and apparently Twitch viewers can interact with the streamer. Like, you can apparently raise the enemy defense, or raise my attack, or like give me healing items, and it's kind of cool. It really is kind of cool. I wish more games did this. Of course, one thing we also noticed is that the music was muted. The entire sound was muted, and I heard it was something to do with the the voice actors. Yet I feel like, I don't know. Like, I hope that kind of changes, because that kind of takes away part of the fun. And of course, I can stream it using my Elgato or XSplitter, which I'm using now, or something. But I want those interactions as well, because I feel like that's actually really fun. That's just my opinion, at least. But yeah, that's really all I have to say on Samurai Warriors 4. I'd recommend it if you have a PS4 or if you have a PS3. Graphically, it'll probably look pretty different, but I'm sure it'll play about the same, and you'll have fun, I think. It's a good game, and if you like Samurai Warriors, you should definitely pick it up. But yeah, this is Flamzaron, aka YouTube Sasuke, signing out. See you later.